Hi guys, Bomber here. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'll be showing you another deck to farm Grandmaster difficulty into single player mode. Today will be a Daramek deck with the hero Babarus, and it's a deck which I like to call the Babarus IDOLS. So, as the name suggests, this deck is all based around the IDOLS cards, and we run only 2 of them, but 5 copies into our deck. And those idols are Sacred Tortoise, 2 copies, and Boar Fetish, 3 copies. And the thing with Babarus is that every time we gain some resources, we gain magic. But that hero power does not shine in particular with this deck, only in some occasions when we have a bunch of scriveners into play and we gain random resources, we can grab magics instead of apples or skulls, so it's always nice as an hero power. But this deck does not focus on resource gain. Instead, we run a bunch of idols, which likes to be the hero fed with magic, and so for that reason we also run 2 copies of Rite of Passage to actually feed our hero with magic every time we play a card, and so that could create some crazy scenarios, and so that's what we want to do. And the first card to search for in the game are the Sacred Tortoise, to actually sustain our economy, since we have some costly cards like Rite of Passage and Ceremonial Dance, and also the 3rd copies of Boar Fetish. And so for that reason we want to search for the Sacred Tortoise, and also going with the combo Scrivener and Ceremonial Dance is always nice, since we will need the Scriveners to redraw with Rite of Passage, and getting also a Ceremonial Dance to double all our cards we buy is always nice. So, in our first match we are up against an Ezra, and as I say, the first card to search for is the Sacred Tortoise, and so we'll go ahead and grab that. And also running a full set coins of Serpent Seal is ideal for this deck, but if you don't have them like me, you are fine, however. So, right now we could go ahead for a yearly Rite of Passage, and right now we need to answer our opponent's board, and so for that reason we'll go ahead and also grab a Boar Fetish. But first of all, grab the Rite of Passage. So, play the Rite of Passage, we also gain 4 coins, and we will play the Boar Fetish just to do 1 attack, but that's fine, because we will need to play it anyway, and so doing it when we have a Rite of Passage on is better than not. So right now we would need to redraw the Rite of Passage, and so we'll just wait for it. Right now we could also heal, so to clear one of our opponent's stuff. We could go for the Boar Fetish, but I prefer to wait for it. So right now we definitely want to redraw the Rite of Passage, and since we did not, I will go for a Ceremonial Dance right now to just put something on board, and right now instead I will go for a Boar Fetish because we will gain a copy thanks to the Rite of the Ceremonial Dance, and actually heal to hopefully clear the Conjurer Dagret, and we do not, but that's fine. I would have liked to mitigate a bit of the pressure our opponent is putting on us, but didn't go that way, but that's fine. So right now, thanks to the Scrivener, we could go ahead and redraw the Rite of Passage, and I will also put the Ceremonial Dance on play, so we can redraw it with the other Scrivener. And I will actually go for a Rite of Passage because our opponent is pretty close to killing us, and so mitigating a bit of the pressure he's putting on us could be fine. And actually, I don't think it's lethal, but we are very, very close. And probably no, it's lethal. Yeah, it's lethal. So, GG. In our second match, we are up against Lyat, and as I say, the first card to search for is Sacred Tortoise, but also the Ceremonial Dance is a nice other card to search for in the early game, and so we go ahead and grab the Ceremonial Dance to actually or do the Scrivener Dance combo if we do have a Scrivener into play, or just double up our stuff is nice enough to do the Ceremonial Dance. So right now we can grow up our Rite of Passage card, and so we'll go ahead and build up our economy to grab that. Even if we are pretty passive on the first turns, we will just build an unstoppable machine into the later stages of the match, and so we can afford to be pretty passive on the first turns. So right now I will just wait for the rite of passage, since we will not have any. We can grab them, but we will not have cards to actually play to activate the rite of passage, and so instead I will go for a scrivener combo and actually gain a bunch of magic, hopefully, and we did not, but that's fine. So right now our opponent is being pretty aggressive and we can't wait another anymore, and so we'll go ahead and play the rite of passage just to heal a bit, and also we will go ahead and grab the scrivener to actually redraw the ceremonial dance and put some boar fetishes into place. And as you have seen, we cleared our opponent's board and recovered from that situation, and also gained a bunch of gold. And at this point I'm pretty confident that we already won the game. So right now we put the rite of passage on, we play the scrivener to redraw the ceremonial dance, we play the ceremonial dance to buy 2 copies of boar fetish, and it's not lethal, but we are very close, and it's just a matter of time at this moment, because we see that every card we play with the rite of passage on is 5 damages thanks to the boar fetish. And right now with 2 rite of passage it will be 10 damages, so good game. So, in our third and final match we are up against Lystrata, and the first card to search for, as always, is the Stacker's Tortoise, and then the Ceremonial Dance and also the Rite of Passage, which is crucial for this deck, and if we do not restock it we are screwed up, and so we must preserve the Rite of Passage restock. And so for that reason I'll pass and go for a early Rite of Passage. Instead, since we redrew the Stacker's Tortoise, just 2 gold is fine to build up to double the Stacker's Tortoise and actually gaining double the amount of gold for every magic we feed to our hero. And right now I will go for a early on Rite of Passage, and also we did proc the Serpent Seal, so that's fine. So right now we can also grab a boar fetish and another one, which is pretty neat. And so you see that right now we have for every magic we feed 2 golds and 2 attacks, which is very nice. And also we have scriveners restocked, so we can redraw the Rite of Passage. And at this point I think the game is pretty over, if we just need to clear our opponent's board and just play the Rite of Passage. And as you see, we heal, we gain gold, and we attack, so that's all in one card, and it's pretty amazing. And right now with 2 Rite of Passage it will be pretty much lethal, and so GG. So, as you've seen, this deck can be pretty fast, but it also is not that much consistent, because it's very reliant on the Rite of Passage restock, and if you happen to not restock it into a game, you are pretty much screwed up. You could recover thanks to the Scrivener combo, but it's much harder than the Rite of Passage, because all the deck is built up on those 2 cards. You could probably swap a boar fetish for another Rite of Passage just for consistency, but then the boar fetish is also as much important as the Rite of Passage, because it's very great to clear up the early on pressure, and so that's why I prefer to run 3 copies of them, because I can always, or most of the times, clear the aggressiveness of my opponent if he just builds up a big board. But also the Rite of Passage, if I did not restock the Rite of Passage, I could not clear my opponent's stuff with the boar fetish. And so you could just play around with the numbers of the copies of the cards you run, and just play with it and see what is better for you. So, that's it for this video. Hope you liked it and find it useful. Be sure to leave down below a comment to let me know what you want to see in the next videos, and as always, see ya!